But you'd be surprised at how many different games have those sort of tweaks and mistakes in them. My favourite one for games with mistakes was Fable. The original Fable. You basically buy apples from everyone. Then once you bought all their apples, you sell them apples. And then once you've sold them all your apples, you buy apples. And what happens is, if they've got no apples, they will buy apples at a premium. If they've got a lot of apples, they will sell them at a cheapness. So you'd probably sell an apple for 5 gold and buy it back at 1 gold. And if you've got 10,000 apples, that's a lot of gold you're getting off this one customer. You just sit there for a little bit and suddenly it's like, what's this thing about needing money? And you could do that with any of the basic items in the game that you could also use. And the fact that they didn't have a weight limit also didn't matter. Wow. Oh. Jeremy, not sure if you actually knew that about the old Fable.
I do recall hearing the story a while ago. Not that I tested out myself, but yes.
Well, it was the game-specific dynamic economy. So if there was a glut in the market, the prices go up.
Yep.
And if there was an overabundance, the prices go down. The fact that you could artificially manipulate that market with one character and their inventory wasn't what they expected someone to do.
That's right. Like as an economy mechanic, it's a cunning plan, but economies are not based on a single trader. So.
Yep. And so if they had have said how many apples in the town, for example, and there was 10,000 apples in the town, then it should say there's a glut in the market, and basically have it going for not much.
Yeah.
Which means that if you carried all these apples around with you, you'd be glutting every market. But you'd then find ways of saying, well, in that case then, I will go take my apples out of town, put it in a chest, run back into town, sell a couple. But that way of doing it would take way too long to make the amount of money I did.
It would certainly make a lot more work involved, which would not be a bad thing based on the way they did our mechanic.
So today
obviously the intent is not to actually make money off buying and selling apples.
Yeah, I just thought that was a hilarious way to actually do it, because you could have picked anything. I just picked apples when I did it.
Okay. Well, okay. If it worked with any common item or normal item, then yeah, it's not going to be effective.
And the fact that you could find it on the roadside and pick them as well also helped.
Yep.
I think by the end of the game I had every apple that a vendor had. Not because I was trying to, just because I'd followed that for so long that I just kept doing it.
Yep.
So today we are up to session number 83 with that sidetrack into Fable. And online we have Jeremy, who will give us a nice rundown of what he thinks his character is about to do.
Good evening all. Yes, I'm playing Dimitrios, the Troldaran human sage, wise man, all-round purveyor of good advice to all those that should always listen. But apparently, some don't necessarily understand the intelligence and wisdom that he can provide. And as far as where we're going immediately, it's so we've the party has recently achieved nobility or name level in our various homelands, and we've been taking the opportunity to develop and set up our various holdings after getting them received from the local royalty. And so I don't know if we've got immediate plans at this stage, but I'm sure we can work it out.
I'm sure you can. And at the table today we have Debbie.
Yes, good evening. I'm playing a gnome paladin called Kignaret Ikaram Burtat, who is also highly intelligent and a legendary imbiber. And she's headed to High Home, I believe, tonight, I suppose, because she had a little sidetrack last time, in fact, into and one of the other characters' nobility ceremony, but that's where we're at for tonight, I believe.
Yes, because Plowman is now a favourite of the Khan. Not a hugely titled favourite of the Khan.
No, well,
but
considering that as he accepted his nobility, he said, "I still want to kill you." I'm not surprised.
and considering the Khan, that is a high compliment to the Khan, because the Khan is a barbarian as well, and he's the sort of barbarian that you probably don't want to pick a fight with, because he united the clans by fighting them.
Yep.
So, how do you do that and not kill everyone? He found a way.
It's impressive.
Yeah, you've got to kill select people.
Well, I did say everyone, so
That's right.
I'm sure that those who died deserved it.
Yeah, and the challenge is working out which are the ones you need to kill to bring all the rest of them on side.
They had
So it certainly takes some diplomacy, tact and skill, which is not necessarily the hallmark of the standard barbarian.
Yep.
I'm sure Plan would be disappointed to hear you say that.
I think Playman would be disappointed to say he heard anything.
That's right. If it comes to Dimitri's lips.
Though the fact that he now has a son to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your son is a very good drinker.
Okay, so David may be ready shortly, as he's actually now read my notes.
Oh, okay.
And my note was, let me know when you're ready. Yeah, one of those fantastic notes I send out to people to say, are you available or not? So I'm sure we'll get some other stuff soon. But till then, Jeremy, it is almost a full fortnight since your character left off.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the 16th of the 4th month.
Okay. And the so I'm assuming that the others. Okay, so the last thing that Dimitri noted down was yes, after having been officially titled by Duke Karameikos as the Lord of Quetal, promoted to captain, and a professor in the Karameika Magical Guild. He'd been back towards spending time in Quetal, and
Well, what had been said...
He was prepared to head off to High Forge for Bradshaw's and Quickner's elevations, but I'm guessing when he heard that, hang on, they're going to go to Ethengar first, he would have been quite happy to continue to get things sorted back home first of all.
Well, Bradshaw and Kegner both got their things in Highforge in Karameikos.
Yeah.
So they didn't actually have to go to Rockholm. And that's when you got the invite to the ceremony of Plowman.
Oh, okay, right. So they have had their elevations?
They have had their elevations. They had it about 2 weeks after yours, which is why time has gone so far.
Yep.
And it's been about 4 or 5 weeks since you had your elevations.
Okay. In which case then, well, he probably would have been attending Ethengar then, on the idea, unless he had a good excuse to get back, avoid it. But,
it would have taken you the 2 weeks to get there on horseback with Bradshaw as your guide.
Oh, of course, because Plowman did not go to High Forge, did he?
Plowman went straight to Ethinger.
Yeah, okay.
And Kegner took Gnomish Express.
Yeah. Okay, in which case then, yeah, there's Dimitri would have said, oh, hey, you guys go to get Ethinger. I've got a few more things to set up back here, and I will meet you in probably it's the easiest place for them to get to. There's no Knights in Ethinger yet, is there?
So let's see. There will never be one there because they don't have a fixed settlement.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So if you have a look at the dots on the grey map, those dots are where they're putting them.
Okay. So, because yes, I'm just trying to think where the closest.
Closest one to you would be Kelvin.
I meant the closest one to Ethinger, on the idea that yes, I could easily get to one, but if we were to plan to meet, probably might be Glance who might be the closest.
Dengar, if they had it, would be the closest one.
Dengar? That's not on my old map.
So it's the centre of Rockholm.
Centre of Rockholm?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep.
And there is a path that goes out of Rockholm into Ethinger. It's the safest path.
Good evening.
Welcome, David. Introduce your character.
David, how are you going?
Good, how are you?
Not too badly.
Hi, David.
Hello. Sorry, mammy noises, doing mammy stuff.
I gave him a brief recap of what happened last session.
Yep.
Yeah, plumbing is good, plumbing is great. That's literally all you need to know about last session.
So, because yes, we were just discussing the idea of that Dimitri probably didn't bother going with Bradshaw and Quigley up to
Bradshaw didn't.
Ethinger.
Bradshaw was going by a foot. He wasn't getting on a gnomish device.
Yeah.
Only the gnome went by Gnome Express.
Did he still
Because
make the
Bradshaw
car?
is racist.
Bradshaw did not make it there in time.
No, I didn't think he did.
He wasn't here last session, so he didn't make it.
So,
More drink for me.
Oh, there was lots of drink.
So we're just discussing as to what the plans might have been after your inauguration, and therefore
Drinking?
where we might have met up in the weeks following.
Drinking. Also fighting.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the party no longer exists at Plum, only drinking and fighting.
Well, he does have his squire to deal with.
He sure does. I wrote his name down. I should probably find that.
I'm sure Hayu works just as well.
Well, he doesn't say any words, so it doesn't matter what his name is.
Kick me with a K.
Yeah, but I was going to say, would you say the same applied to horses?
They are worth more than all of you put together.
But they don't say any words, so you say they don't require a name?
Who says Regem doesn't speak?
I didn't say Regem, I said horses. Regem doesn't
Yeah,
count
but
for
they're
horses.
horses. They're horses. They're far more important than any of you.
Yeah, but do they deserve a name?
Jeremy, are you trying to bring logic to an Ethinger fight? In the words of Shrek, that's a good way to end up with a smack bottom.
Gotta remember, Dimitri's always trying to bring logic to the situation.
No, he's trying to bring being a dick.
Yeah. So,
Have we commenced the session? Or
We have, yes, this is the actual session recording.
Cool. Hello, I'm David. I play Barman, the undefeated champion of the world.
That's why you gave your recap of what happened.
Yeah. Barman is amazing.
And good.
And amazing. And better than you in everything.
But yeah, so having come into the year, what are we, AC 2009?
It is AC 1009.
And having spent the first few months either getting our titles or sorting land or whatever the options might be for individuals.
Definitely not from established titles right now. Sorry, that's an internet joke that's currently going around. Established titles is that place where you buy the Scottish land and you can call yourself Lord.
Yeah, okay.
Turns out everyone, well, they are completely and utterly lying, and everyone's figuring it out. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so this episode is brought to you by established titles. You too could have the name Lord or Lady.
Are you trying to say that my meter square on the moon is also not actually reality?
And that bit of layout you got on Mars just was a little bit too far.
Jeremy, I know that your grip on reality is off because you think that your characters are amazing.
No. My characters think my characters are amazing.
Yeah, but we all know that your characters are an extension of you.
Well, okay, I quite happily admit that Dimitri's a bastard.
He sure is. He deserves his own episode of Behind the Bastards.
That's why he and Plumman get along so well.
You know, they really do, don't they?
They do. And then they have Bradshaw in the middle that they both torment in their own way.
Yeah. Well, I'm bored of insulting you. Oh, where's Bradshaw?
Bradshaw's too easy to insult.
So does Dimitri end up showing up to the hangar?
Yes.
Well, I can. Yeah, we'll just discuss the idea of the fact that there's not a convenient night crew in teleport directly into Ethigar.
So you had to take horseback and get yourself over there. And you arrive on the 16th of the 4th month, the day where the clans part and separate off into the various directions.
Everyone laughs at your horse.
It did the job.
Has anybody seen 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas?
Yes.
Not for a long time, but yes.
Only a Dimitri would bring a dog to war.
Though he did come with Drezel, and most of the Ethingarians look at shock at his horse.
Yeah, no, that's not a horse, go away. Get out of our land.
But yes, I guess the question is...
So, Dimitri, when you do get to Ethigar, and ignoring your question, because that's a boring question, God, how dare you plan ahead? When you do finally get to Ethigar, you see Simon, and he looks very different. Very, very adorned in very expensive leathers. There's some magic floating around him, and everybody looks at him with the utmost of respect. Things are weird.
Not everybody.
Well, you don't have to look up to him.
I'll have to look up to him.
Certainly he's, in previous times when Dimitri has seen Plumman in Ethigar, he has certainly noted that some of the Ethingarians apparently paid heed to him at that point in time. And
Yeah, no, it's that time of 100 now.
the intent was that, or the recognition was that, hey, just as certain lands and personnel were false, no, it's not false, that's what I'm thinking of, but yes, Dimitri had difficulty believing the idea that some might treat Bradshaw, for example, as giving him some sort of title of nobility. He recognised that, well, yes, you were going off to get some titles and bits and pieces, so I'd expect that there were more people that might be impressed by your appearance.
Oh, there's about to be a murder.
So, how many people did Dimitri bring with him from his staff?
Sorry about the noise, guys.
No, Dimitri doesn't need to travel with the cohort. So, the staff at Crash Kettle are still available to help Zeligar re-establish the place.
And figure out which century it is. He has been stoned for centuries.
Yes.
The wizard he revived. Got petrified. Very literally stoned for centuries.
Because besides, it's not like Dimitri would like to actually leave. Like I said, he's Zeligar's accepted the position effectively as seneschal of what used to be his own tower.
Yep.
So, Dimitri's certainly keen to leave more of the modern times that are more likely to follow him than Zeligar, like the modern staff.
Well, he doesn't have any staff because all his staff died off centuries ago.
Yeah, they can't. But the point is, yes. So Dimitri would certainly prefer to have more that are much more likely to follow Dimitri than Zeligar at the tower when Dimitri's got to go off. So he's not going to take any of the, he's not going to reduce that ratio at all.
So did Kegner send any of her followers along with?
No, she left them at home to tidy up. I've been a party, apparently.
And I'm sure Bradshaw will choose to bring along a bunch of halflings when he gets the chance.
But yes, in the weeks that we've been engaged in promotions and celebrations and things like that, have we heard of any specific new rumours or stories that Rheddrian would like to see investigated? Not that Dimitri worked for Rheddrian already for part of it, but Rheddrian tends to have ideas about certain places where there are interesting things to find out about.
So Rheddrian sort of says to avoid the forests of Alfheim at this stage. Their magic is failing, and you're never quite sure if you're going to get caught up between them trying to kill each other.
I was going to say, isn't it the sort of thing there that it might be a good time to get Alfheim because hey, it's going to be your last chance to see it.
Possibly, but as the magic's failing, you're not actually seeing it at its best.
No, that's right.
It's like being the person to turn the lights off at Rivendell.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really going to see any elves while you do so.
But of course, the other aspect is that, hey, last chance to climb Uluru airdrop type stuff some years ago. Last chance to see Alfheim in whatever state it is. But that's it. Dimitri's been there, he's seen it, done that.
It's on your bucket list, you've ticked it.
That's right.
They recommend avoiding the Alphatian Empire holdings. They're heavily in the recruitment phase for bodies, having lost most of their navy.
Well, I don't think it's hard to convince Dimitri and the rest of the party that were involved in destroying that navy that it's probably not the ideal time for them to go visiting.
Yep. The Etrurian clans are going through yet another one of their mating rituals.
Definitely don't want to go there then.
So, basically, if a raiding party catches you, you might become one of their adopted family members. And depending on which tribe, you might actually be lunch as well.
Yeah, that's a hard no.
Could be an opportunity to get at the ground level with there's a new tribe that hasn't really been, that people don't know about yet.
Okay, so in the Broken Lands region, Thar has managed to border up the Broken Lands so no traffic's going through it.
Okay. So definitely not a case of opportunity to get from Ethengard through to Derek in there.
Yeah, Plarman was the last person to make it through. Just making some notes so I make sure I reflect these.
Yep.
Though when I type it out, it doesn't quite come out with the words I intend. Okay. So in Darakan, everything from the lake to the west has been taken by the Master. So the Etrurigan are cut off from the rest of the region except for the Tiger Clan.
Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, they can fly or jump down the plateau. But
Well,
yeah, so the main pathway up from the plateau or up to the plateau is now under control of the Master.
he's in control of where it is at the bottom, but he doesn't stay there very much because rocks tend to fall on him if he does.
Oh, no, they can't. But yeah, they can't make this. There's really only one main pathway up the plateau on the northern side, if you don't want to go through the Tiger Lands. That, yes. And that has been overrun by the Master at this stage. So,
Yep.
do we know what sort of forces the Master has?
No one seems to make it out of combat with them and report back.
Okay.
Doesn't bode well for Tuesday night's group though.
It'll be fine, I'm sure.
They've just gone and engaged the Master a year beforehand. And when you say no one's made it out, they actually report on it.
And a year later, they have actually consolidated or moved forward from the position that we were understood them to be at. So, on the plus side, it possibly means that the fleet that were coming across as we're crossing the lake right at the end may not be the Master's fleet, because otherwise they'd probably be already on the other side of the lake by now.
Well, maybe a few of them got caught up on the island.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So.
So there's rumours that the Uyghurs are wanting to declare war on the Haldenic freeholds.
Again.
Well, they've never actually been officially allowed to declare war. They're allowed to fight each other. But a war would then bring in, would go beyond blood feud.
Yeah.
So in Galantry, the undead are still fighting in Moldavia.
Yes, can confirm, by the way.
That is David's clan, the Uyghurs. So the undead fighting is still happening in Moldavia.
Okay.
No one's managed to actually finish that yet.
Well, and to be fair, as long as they're tied up fighting amongst themselves, that's probably a good thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean the victor's going to be any weaker by the time he comes out.
Or could be stronger, considering they might gain power from what they eat.
That's what I mean. Okay, or they'll just reanimate all the other armies as well.
I'm sure a bunch of ghouls running through would mop up in no time. There is rumours of a book about genies that will grant the reader a wish. Said to be in the mountains of...
Very good.
Was that a yes, you want that one? So that's in the mountains of Thyatus, and Dimitri knows you will be able to get to it via Hollow World.
So, well, Dimitri had certainly found out about some adventures to the mountains of Thyatus that might be interesting with the regarding the Tower of Knowledge.
Yep.
Yes, he's not been he couldn't not talking about that directly. So,
Arendi, Minrathad, and Darakan are still sending expeditions out to the west to see if they can find more answers to what's happening out that way.
so they're going by, like they're trying to do effectively go around the coast to find out what the Master's background is. Is that what you mean?
Find out that, as well as is there a reason why he's coming that way?
Yeah,
Because it could be something else is pushing him this way.
Yeah.
Just because someone's attacking doesn't mean that they're aggressive.
That's right. They know they could easily be running.
And if he's running, that means he's less likely to stop.
It also means that there's potentially something nice you're following.
Mm-hmm. So that's why there's a urgent push to send people that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they open up branches in Bayazan in Tyatus, Castellan in Northern Reaches, Minrathad City, in Minrathad Speculum in Karameikos, giving you 4 more sites you can transfer to from Darakan City.
Yeah.
In Northern Reaches, a Dark Lady has started recruiting followers.
So, just sorry, back up a moment. So Castellana is somewhat recovered from the city-wide fires and destruction the year before.
No one really notices when that happens and when it recovers.
Okay.
As a city of thieves, there's always people willing to rebuild
Yep.
or hide. And the Dragonborn aren't necessarily as thorough as some.
Yeah.
Not grown up with the desire for wealth and greed of others.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't quite been corrupted that far yet. I'm sure you can work on it. Okay, and so that was saying that a Dark Lady has risen in Northern Reaches recruiting followers. Not sure what her purpose or agenda is, just that she has set out to expand her holdings. And Vestland is still fighting for who earns the crown next.
Yep.
Who's going to be king of Vestland? A mysterious inn has opened in Blackmoor. Sorry, not in Blackmoor, in Norworld. Rumours of it using Blackmoorian tech have reached you.
Ooh.
So, not sure if you wish to leave the region and head into Alphatian contested territories, because
Where's Norworld again?
No, but we are in Esendarian territory, and Haldanic Knights are just down the road.
I meant the Alphatian held territories.
Yeah. But, as I said, skirmishes between Ethengar and Haldan are certainly not ones that Rheddrians is going to be particularly interested in, because, hey, it's not like it's uncommon. Size has got to be bigger, but
there are problems with Dimitri's, not Dimitri's, Bradshaw's ancestor Redtooth causing trouble in Rockholm.
Mm-hmm.
An undead dwarf and her followers can be a problem.
Hate those undead.
No, she's said to be a vampire.
Hate vampires.
Oh, there's Victor when we need him.
It's not like Dimitri can make much comment on that particular line of concern.
And outright fighting has started between dwarves and gnomes. Before it was just harsh words, now they're actually trying to kill each other.
No contest.
It's alright, as the gnomes will say, our gyrocopters will blot out the sun.
Except someone destroyed most of them last year.
Who was that? What sort of a terrible person would do something so cruel and awful? What group of miscreants would ever be involved in something like that?
They also say be wary of the Thyatan Empire because they're also recruiting. They're quite happy to involuntarily recruit anyone in their territories at this point. And in Yularum, they're holding a tournament to see who would like to found a stronghold on the border between Yularum and the Thyatan Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're not putting you in the most dangerous part of their country. But as is a contest of might, they should guarantee that the person who actually wins the contest is able to hold up their end of the bargain.
Well, that's the case. No point being there if you're not going to actually achieve. And hey, you might as well get past the hardest bit first.
Well, knowing where they're going to actually put you up is part of the pruning process for contestants.
Mm-hmm.
Rumours had it that they thought they were going to be put on the northern end to ward off the giants, but no, they chose the southern end this year. And that's all the major events that are happening out there at this time.
Okay. So, whilst I'm sure that Palmer would be keen on bashing a few Hellganic Knights heads again, that's not really going to have an impact on the world at large.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Whereas the idea of Blackmorian implements or artifacts or technologies rising their head is certainly something of concern.
Yeah, but that sounds boring as hell.
I'm sure there'll be lots of fighting.
Unlikely with your nerdy artifacts.
Or the other one.
Yeah. This stuff that I'm in tonight has the awful noise. Sorry, guys.
The other main concern that I would think of that's particularly relevant would be this idea that a Dark Lady is gathering forces in a cult up in the northern reaches.
I'm not going to king shame anyone, Jeremy, but your character needs to keep it to himself.
Yeah, because obviously specific things that Rheddrian wants to look out for is rise of new religions and cults, and whilst I'm not entirely certain that he ever actually said to look out for Blackmore stuff, but
Yes, he does. Let's see.
But only because,
New gods and cults, changes to existing religions, strange events and policy changes, and technology advancements and wonders.
Yeah, no, because we're sort of, the only reason I was thinking he wouldn't have actually specified he was interested in Blackwall stuff is because it's not necessarily well known or widely aware of. So.
Yeah, but again, all of that sounds lame and boring.
What's the most interesting thing to Plowman then?
Go and bash in Hellganic Night Skulls.
Yes, but once you've bashed in 1, 2, 10, 100, how different is it?
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying the fact that how different is it?
Practice makes perfect.
Jeremy,
What's the difference between the first 10 and the next 10?
Dimitri, do you like food? Right, hang on. Let's drop into arsehole mode. my very non-magical friend, do you like food? You like partying? You like drinking? Because I do. And you know that I like more than partying and killing and drinking and fighting and all of the above? I like doing it again.
I certainly know the answer, and it really doesn't care.
I just like doing it again. What is fun, and it is rewarding. And, my friend, skirmish as it may be, I am a noble, a lesser town of,
And if the world should end while you're playing around with some petty skirmishes,
what makes you think you're so powerful and important you can change the world? You are just a tiny speck. That's all you are.
We have had great influence on the world already, especially the hollow world.
And you did stop the god of death.
That is not world, that is awful place. And I told you, we never talk about hollow world, love it again.
What stage in Hollow World? Stage in Hollow World?
I hate that place, and I hope it ends forever.
Well, seemingly the way the world's going at the moment, it'll be gone too.
Excellent. Let the world end.
Along with Ethangar and all of your Hellganic Knights to pop on the head.
And there'll be no horses left.
With every victory there is sacrifice.
But what is the point of victory if there's nothing left to celebrate with your food and drink?
You didn't quite hit the nail on the head there, my friend. You would have been better going with what use is victory without anyone to celebrate the great life and victory.
You're discussing your joy of food and drink.
Yes, but no one to tell stories, to create legacies and great tales of the great Khan, Lum and Dornan.
Well, there would be no stories if the great Khan Klarman could tell, because he won't have done anything important.
I defend the great Uyghur lands.
And like your family and your ancestors have not done that before?
At your... Ramen just looks at you with utter disbelief and fury burning in his eyes.
Hey, you two, knock it off, will ya? By the way, I've decided to have an accent, David.
Oh god. It did go so well.
And she's gonna be a Scouser from Toxter.
I'm okay with that, just as long as it's better than Jeremy's accent.
We were discussing it earlier when we were talking about it. So.
Could be worse, could be me trying to do accents.
Oh god, I imagine that'd be even as bad as Jeremy.
Just, what? Will one of you just make a decision about where we're going and let's bloody get there? Christ.
I actually don't care.
Wasting bloody drinking time here.
Dimitri, you're the one who cares about saving the world. I don't really care. I'm just saying, if Albania was on the way and we could just, pop in and wrecky, that'd be great. But
it was what I was about to suggest, that I'm thinking that we want to go to either what's the other one I think of?
While he thinks about that, Plum, did you just mention Wacky Backy? Because I'll have some if you've got any, you know.
You know, my son likes you, and for that reason I might let you live in these lands.
You. And who's going to stop me?
My son?
Oh, yeah, well, Christ. I mean, he's never going to hurt me because I keep buying his drinks, don't I? You know, so, yeah, there's that.
You seem to be lessening the understanding of an Ethingarian's love of war and destruction.
Look, I just care about drinking. All this argument's wasting drinking time. Where are we going, and what's the drink like there when we get there?
I believe, my short friend, if you could just, shut up for a second. Our head idiot was actually going to come up with an idea that potentially, satiate a couple of loves. His love for boring crap and my love for beating Helldatic knights.
Well, as I said, the threat of the Blackmorian technology up in Norwald, we don't have a convenient night-driven inn to take us directly there, so we would probably unfortunately be forced to travel north up through Ethingar, through the Uyghur lands, up the escarpment through the Haldan freeholds.
Oh no! What a shame!
Because Norwald is actually north of us, isn't it, Martin?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
That sounds terrible. What an awful plan.
We'd have to go all the way across the Haldan freehold, and then possibly on the way back we've got to come back. We're going to come back all the way through it again.
This sounds like an Asterix and Obelix comic. Because the Gauls have to travel faster than the Romans, so he just smashes heads, and then goes and gets a fade, turns around, comes back, and smashes the same heads again. So Clyman agrees. The only stipulation is there is no chance of going into the Hollow World. As long as there's no Hollow World, he's in.
As long as there's pubs, I'm in.
As long as
Drezel asks about, is Old World okay?
He won't mind about Old World will be fine from his perspective, Drezel. Yes.
Alright.
And then I'll quietly whisper to them and say, there's no need to talk about what might be going through, because we'll keep him food and drink, he'll be fine.
Drezel says 3 not in Haldan right now. Which Plyman recognises the term that there are 3 knights of the Haldanic territories that are renowned, so much so that they're actually the only Haldanic knights that the Ethingarians won't kill on sight. But would happily challenge to the death. Unfortunately, if they take up the challenge, they generally die.
Even undefeated ones.
That just means that there's no one in Haldan that can't be killed.
And he says that the 3 chase a elf of shadow.
Are you concerned about that at all, Plana? Happy for the 3 to go chasing off their shadows and
Yeah, I don't care. I would love to fight one of them. I don't think it could go well for me, but look, if they're out of Elden, that means that we've got a clear run. There's no one off limits. Also, there's a better chance for us to live, too.
so
I'm just
noting that
second guys, sorry.
noting that Dimitri hasn't been up through Haldan, Freehold, and north of there, I don't think at all yet. Which is part of the reason why he's somewhat keen to go that way. Does he know enough about how big the place is, how long it might take to actually get there if we were travelling by land?
It would probably take you close to a month to cross the Haldanic territories by horse.
And the
Each hex there is supposed to be about 24 miles, I believe.
yeah, that makes sense. But and then looking at the location where we want to try and get to, which was does he know enough about the Norwold region to understand where this comeback in is apparently been located?
He does not.
No.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not much bigger than the regions you've come to before.
No. And hey, I'm sure we can get more information as we get there. So, because yes, the alternate method would be to actually.
As a comparison, this is the area where they've been playing in so far. Norworld is that area. So about 3 times the size of the current play area.
Because the other option I was going with was the idea of, well, we could go west into the Yardens, Northern Reaches, look at the Dark Lady business, and then get on a boat and get up towards the thing. But if you get that, it's going to be harder to convince Plarman to avoid walking straight through the Helldown Freeholds.
Drazzle agrees boat faster.
Never been on a boat. Sounds fun. How big are they?
Drazzle sticks his arms out.
Depends on the boat.
At least 8 feet, apparently.
Well, let's make a decision and let's get going.
So we just got confirmation that Martin will be out till next year.
Okay.
Which isn't very long away, actually.
Well, considering there may not be a session next, like on the 21st or something anyway, and he may not necessarily miss many sessions depending upon when next year counts us. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if he also meant that it might be February or March type stuff before he's available.
That's why I said next year.
Exactly.
Just don't have a date. We'll figure out a date when he's able to. So yes, you can get a boat. Dimitri does have a captain on his rock.
On speed dial. So,
He's got a magic rock that he can talk to.
so by the time we got
And he's
to the
absolutely
coast,
not crazy.
so by the time we got to the coast, it could probably be there about the same sort of time. But that does go against the thought process of Plarman's opportunity to bash some hell-down heads on the way through.
You do realise that he would probably draw the attention of all the authorities, as his face would be posted up around as one of their wanted for war crimes people.
Yeah, as I say, in some ways Dimitri's quite happy to let him walk into that trap.
But Dimitri's probably on there as well, considering he was there at that location as well.
So hang on, what was this one? I was picturing, Plarman would be on there wanted posters for generic big Ethagarian.
They dropped a air devastation orb on the Haldanic Knights.
Did we?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. So that was the. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So that was one of the.
End of the time.
What happened in those time loop type stuff? Yep. So.
Just wondering if that changes things for Dimitri if his face is up there too.
Well, okay, certainly yes. It's certainly in the same sort of way as Alpha is not really the place for us to be right now. I would agree that Haldane Freehold. This is not the time to go touring. So, what he'll do, he'll pull out a big map that is mostly GB Dragons type stuff, because he hasn't necessarily got a full map of the Haldane Freehold and things. But describe and talk about the fact that it will in fact take way too long to try and traverse the entirety of the Haldane Freeholds before we can get even into the Norwald to then start finding a location. So it would make much more sense to go east out of Ethingar and potentially see if we can find hints or rumours of this Dark Lady in the Northern Reaches as we go to the coast to then get up north to Norwald.
So Norwald is many little baronies and kingdoms.
Which also
context that the corruption sex.
Which also has the advantage of going through the northern reaches would be that being full of Vikings or like a boatmen, they're likely to have more information about exactly where in Norwald we might want to try and end up. Not to mention having actual maps, unlike the Ethagarians.
Shut up!
Well, where the Ethagarians going, they don't need roads. It's amazing how well the horse can traverse grasslands.
Exactly.
Drazzle recommends starting at landfall.
I'm sure there'll be a few remnant Ethagarians, remnant Hellbands on our way across the Ethagarian plain. So I'm sure we'll get a couple hectares.
As long as Barman's allowed to go and wholesale murder some delicious Hellbanic skulls. Sorry. As long as Barman is able to craft some new bowls for his collection, he's good.
Dimitri's not planning on stopping him from doing so if we come across any.
Good. Although, please stop him if it's one of the three.
Again, Dimitri be eager to watch.
Oh, you're a dick.
Be like, well, you wanted to talk to your god.
No. Barman hates gods.
Because we haven't necessarily got a lot of information about where this Dark Lady might be residing, other than somewhere in the Northern Reaches, we will aim to effectively take the eastern route out of Ethingar, which will take us into the Kingdom of Vestland, assuming there is an eastern route. I've got to pull up the map of Ethingar.
There is grasslands and a river that rose into the troll fields of Ethingar. Sorry, of Vestland. So
Vestland, yep.
So Ethingar and Vestland share a border of troll fields.
Trolls.
Yep, it's basically where the biggest grouping of smart trolls in the world are found?
Well, smart. You say smart. Compared to me.
Well, trolls that aren't affected by fire or acid.
That's just wrong.
And grow big enough to challenge most giants.
So is that.
Partly because they're just north of big giants.
How tall's the grass? Can I hide? By standing
Yes, you
up
could.
in it? Even though I'm, well over 3'11".
That 11's very important, but wasn't it 11 and a half?
Well, probably more.
Okay, so you think you need to go to the region, see if I can actually open it in a clearer view. Yeah, okay, I can actually read it now. She's supposed to have set up near Falsterholm, the barony with the across from the capital of Norvik.
Where are we?
I'll switch things around so you can see a bit better. And then I'll put the marker on top of it.
Oh, Namren. Okay.
So Namsen is the city of Falsterholm. So she's supposed to be in the region nearby that.
She's somewhere down Falsterholm. Okay.
And just so you know, the that whole area there is Ethinger.
Yes. And obviously, yes.
So literally,
Trollheim is a particularly inviting place to wander through from Ethinger.
so literally follow the river in leads directly into the region she's supposed to be.
Yes. That also leads directly through
The worst
Trollheim.
troll infected area of the region.
Which do we know much about? Like we've heard rumours that she's gathering a cult around her or something. Do we know whether that's mainly involving standard northerners like the humans of the realm, or is she also involving some of the monstrous humanoids?
Okay.
Like trolls.
You know she's gathering forces, you just don't know what forces yet.
Okay.
And there's rumours that it's not the first time she's done it. No one knows how old she is.
So she might be gathering some Haldanic knights.
Maybe she's got 3 of them.
Well, it's like Dark Lady, Shadows. Seems fair. All together. Now that the border between Ethinger and Haldan is somewhat of a large cliff face, generally along the northern border, isn't it?
Along that border, there's not a lot there.
Well, it was more the idea of the whether or not it's potentially worth going cross country rather than kind of follow the river, which involved going significant. I'm assuming we're near the Uyghur area at the present time.
You were. I think you are. Yes, I can just check to see exactly
Like,
where you are.
on the idea that I'm assuming that I've caught up with Plowman potentially after his coronation or ceremony, and so I'm guessing he probably went back to the Uyghurs.
Let's see on the.
So Plummer had no need to go back to Ethinger. He won't object to it, but he doesn't absolutely need to.
No, we're in Ethinger right now. I'm just trying to find exactly where in Ethinger we are.
Yeah.
What the best way.
Because that's where.
That's where we have to meet up with you
That's where you met the group.
after your drinking and party.
We were never partying and drinking in Ethinger.
Where you got your new nobility and everything.
And I wasn't in Ethinger.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Where were you thinking
I
of?
thought it was.
I flew
I thought it was
there.
in I thought it was in the Khans. City.
It was, which is on the map there in Barga at that time of year.
So when I'm saying Ethinger, I'm talking about the whole country, like the whole.
Oh, Jesus Christ, sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies, I had a dumb brain moment.
No, that's right.
So,
But yes, I'm figuring we're probably in the northern reaches of Ethinger at the moment with the weekends where you would have actually congregated eventually.
no, on the day you met him, he was right at the bottommost settlement, Barga, because that's where the Golden Khan was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
And
was the point I was trying to make.
as of the current game date, they are packing up to move to there with the Court of the Golden Khan.
Okay. So sorry, where were we right now?
Where the finger is.
Where the pointer is right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are actually quite conveniently on the river, and we can follow the river across.
You can actually take the road into Rockholm and then go in through Rockholm and out the other side.
I'm thinking that it seems appropriate to...
I'm sure the dwarves won't try to kill your gnome too much.
That's right. I figure that yes, the river up through there.
But hey, the gnome has dwarven friends.
Hey, dwarven friend. And I don't know that he's her friend anyway because he thinks he's more intelligent than her.
No. I was going to say, if you're talking about Gradshaw, does he really count as anything?
No. I was actually talking to the 100-odd dwarves, or however many it was, that Simon had a fight with.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, those.
We're like genuine friends now.
Brothers of the Bolt will be more than happy to help you get through Rockholm, and even let your pet gnome through as well.
I'm thinking that it'll be more worthwhile to just follow the river up and... Okay. I'm sure the rumours of the trolls in Trollheim can't really be as bad as they're supposed to be, and okay, if they are, then potentially they might be a target for this Dark Lady to try and recruit.
The trolls can't be as bad as he thinks. Is this like his ancestor who was at the Battle of the Little Bighorn who said to Custer, don't worry about it, they couldn't have barned over from that range?
No, I'm not saying they can't be as bad as to be conceived. They can't be as bad as the stories say.
Martin, do the trolls and the Ethingarians butt heads at all?
They do.
Yeah. How does that usually go?
The Ithengarians have actually burnt the grasslands on that part of the area to try to convince all wildlife not to go there.
Well, that's hilarious.
Considering how much they love their grasslands and their people, they actually burned a whole section of it right next to the Trollheim forest. So the kayaks and the Bortax will swear that the trolls there aren't really trolls.
What are they saying they are?
They have no idea, but that they keep fighting no matter what you lop off.
Zombie trolls.
But it's not like Plumber to be scared of any such creatures, is it?
Well, none of their shamans can turn them.
Zombie trolls.
And radiant energy does nothing to them.
Not quite zombie trolls.
But they won't go anywhere near the land of Black Sands.
Okay.
But then again, not many sane people will.
Are you saying the trolls won't go anywhere near them, or the Vortax won't go anywhere near the land of Black Sand?
The Vortax have been getting closer and closer to it. The more the trolls come out into the grasslands.
Okay, so the trolls have been encroaching that significantly into the Karameikos. So.
They have. But no one really wants to go near the Red Skull areas because that's where bad magic is.
Yeah. So, well, if we follow the river up to at least the fork in the land of Blossoms, is it?
Yep.
Then we can possibly get more information on the way as what to expect from Trollheim, and if we decide that that's not going to work, then I guess we can potentially just try and stay south of Trollheim and go through the mountains instead.
Well, there is an old story that Plowman remembers that for almost close to a week, the Golden Khan himself fought one of the troll leaders to a standstill.
Yeah. So if Palmer talks about that, Dimitri's privately thinking, that'll give him a distraction so we can keep moving afterwards. Just leave Palmer fighting away and we can keep going.
Why don't we just get a boat?
Yeah.
Sail up the river.
Well,
but you'd be sailing
Whichever way we
upstream.
travel up the river is not going to be, like I say,
It'll be getting thinner and thinner, especially by the time you reach where the trolls are. You'll be worse and shallowest.
Yeah, Dimitri's certainly happy to get a boat to do it, but I suspect that horses may be faster for certain areas.
Alright.
But it may be worth getting a boat to the large lake area that I can't quite read the name of.
Chagnar, which is not currently set up.
No. So
each of the outposts there is a seasonal outpost,
right,
and they travel between the three.
The idea being that the river might be more navigable, at least to that lake area. On the other side of the lake, it might get less navigable, but
you've never actually seen boats on that river.
Okay.
The Ethingarians don't use boats.
Okay. Well, whether or not it's useful, I'm guessing boats are not readily available. So it's not like we can hop on a ferry.
Mm-hmm.
So
there is really no use for horse boats and anything like that. For one, we don't usually travel, one route all the time. There is no use for roads here, and as such, there's no use for boats. Your horses are versatile and fast, and they can do just about anything. So, if you want to get from one point of Eppington to the other, it is time for horses. Even your weird magic dog.
Your shadowy horse?
Yes, the magic dog.
I suggest it'll certainly take a few days to get up that river, so we should be on our way, and we can aim to get more information from any persons that we might meet along the way to see how much of a threat these trolls might really be.
Well, I don't really want to fight trolls, especially those weird ones. So let's avoid fighting them. It's probably not a good idea.
You were saying how much you love fighting.
I do. But
He loves fighting, it's just the dying he doesn't like.
So it'd say it'd be about 11 and a half days to get to the fork in the river.
Okay. Okay, certainly.
Where will I find a horse small enough to accommodate me?
You could travel with Drazzle on his cart.
Sure. I'll jump on the cart.
He sort of hunches down a lot on the cart so people don't see him as so tall.
Okay, I'll jump on the cart with a couple of,
Drizzles is prison, and the cart is actually the magic school bus.
So it's got two huge wheels on it. It's one of those things with one of those hoods over the top with a seat and a solid back, and on the solid back is this giant iron door, and has about 3 or 4 locks on the door.
Okay. Well, I'll jump on the seat.
And you've also been warned that his Clydesdale horse is a drake.
Drake? Not a horse.
No, but he calls it a horse.
Oh, it's definitely a horse.
It does look like a horse, superficially.
Okay.
So imagine someone has put the skin of a horse on top of a drake, but it still moves as a drake moves. And like it'll extend its head out, and you'll see this horse head just extend out, turn around, and look in different direction.
Well, by the time I've been sitting on this cart for 11 and a half days drinking non-stop, I won't know what it looks like.
And certainly, yes, if you do pay, if you are spotted paying any attention to the back door on the cart, Dimitri will suggest that you don't want to touch that.
So I don't want to touch his back door.
Hilarious. Being conscious of our otherworldly friends' desire to not be noticed, Plyman will summon Regem and ride atop Regem, just slightly off from where our friend rides in his cart.
Well, that's right. So I'm sure that Plyman and Regem would gain any attention if they were nearby. So. Provides distraction.
I don't even know if that was an insult or not, but shut up.
Would you like me to explain what happened
to the neck?
Okay, so on the 28th of the month, the last day of the month, you reach the fork in the Land of Blossoms. And being that sort of time of year, there's always something funky that happens around that time of year.
Full moon, new moon, always good.
Well, I believe the new moon is the first day of the month, every month. Luckily, all the months are 28 days.
Yep. That's good. I knew it was one of them, but I couldn't remember which way it was. But yes, actually, new moon makes sense because that's why Dimitri got done at the full moon in the middle of the month. So.
Okay, so yes, you stop for the night on the last day of the 4th month. They all have weird names, so this one is called Flower Month, but they all relate to various background stories. And you know that there will be the new moon tomorrow, which is the signaling the end of spring in the 5th month of the year. So you've reached the campsite, camped there, and now it's the 1st of the 5th month.
Have we seen much other traffic, any other going along the river, the side of things like that as we're travelling along?
You've had a bunch of them travelling with you, considering they all had to leave the Khan's encampment at the time. No war this year.
Yeah, and so some of the riots or kayaks, whichever one, and the Bortak ones effectively travelled together for a bit.
They have, because that they have their new national hero, who they hope won't die gloriously in battle soon, but gloriously in battle it shall be.
I'll tiptoe over to Blyman and do pinch punch 1st of the month.
Blyman gives you a slap and a kick for being so quick. You may need
or like you'll have to actually run back the 20 yards.
And
so at least Blyman will give you a slap and Regem will give you a kick. You're now in a different county.
are you sure not a different plane?
Maybe.
You know what Regime's like when Regime really feels vindictive.
Yes.
I didn't bench him.
That's right.
No, but you got in the pinch before he did. You stole his son.
Oh God! Thank you.
Because when he pinches, he really pinches. So, Dimitri has this sneaking suspicion he's forgotten something, and then it twigs. Tax day. He actually owes taxes to the Duke today.
Well, hopefully the staff and Seneschal can will arrange for those taxes to be paid, because obviously Dimitri wouldn't forget about that before he left. Knowing he was going to be gone for presumably some time, that was the whole point of setting up a Seneschal and staff at the place to actually ensure that those administrative daily activities continue along normally.
I'm sure it's all their fault, not Dimitri's at all whatsoever. And I'm sure that they can blame Dimitri why it's late.
To run your home.
He wasn't there to sign the form, so obviously they couldn't put it in time. They need a little more. They need a few months to sort it out and get the paperwork done.
Okay. Well, if Stefan is concerned, he'll deal with it when he gets back. When he finds out that if anything went wrong, he can deal with it then. But certainly at this stage, he's not thinking.
Dimitri is a dick of a ruler.
Okay.
Dimitri is a dick of a ruler.
He's a dick of a person. What are you expecting?
Not a lot. But even still, somehow I'm disappointed.
Yes, that's so. He's quite happy that that's all organised and sorted, and it's not something he's going to worry about. When he gets back, he might get a rude awakening, but he'll deal with it then.
You are 3 days from the Forest of Trollheim. No, sorry, 2 days from the Forest of Trollheim.
As in, like at that fork, or we've continued on, you mean?
At that fork.
Yep.
And at this point, none of the Ethengarian clans will come with you.
Okay. I'm assuming that we haven't actually seen any incursions of trolls up to this point yet?
They don't come this far in.
Yeah.
Though they do follow the mountain ranges all the way along the south.
Martin, this is my pet. Karim. His name is Karim. No, it's not. Hang on.
It is Karim. I've got it written down. I was just waiting for you to remember.
Ah. Well, I was thinking that Karim was the guy that I left in charge to lead the idiots.
No, he was a different one.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Karim grumps in your direction. He has been following you at a distance.
Yeah, he's still here. Flamen looks at Dimitri and says, "Pay no mind to Karim. He doesn't talk a lot, but he is quite handy. He's going to follow us for a while."
Well, considering you've been following us for the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
He's the only Ethengarian left out of the pack.
So you've seen families have been peeling off the entire way, but the last of the families peel off at the Land of Blossoms.
Okay. And yeah. Well, do any of those families, like the local art club stuff, do they have any other specific information about interactions with the trolls at that point, or they don't normally actually?
Well,
the trolls haven't been coming for the kayak so much.
They tell you that the Blue Walks, the Ice Hawks, used to keep them in check.
And where were the Ice Hawks located?
I have killed so many of those orcs.
That they sort of look at you. Not much with respect, because the Blue Walks were actually friends of the tribes.
Friends of the Ethengarian. Oh, sorry, you're saying that they don't look at Parliament with respect. So. But the well, Dimitri is quite interested to know where the Blue Orcs were normally located?
They were in the Marquez Mountains, but the Giants drove them out many years ago, creating an imbalance.
And do the Giants and Trolls get along at all?
They don't know what the difference between them are.
Right.
They thought Trolls were Giants.
From their perspective, they get along because they're the same thing. So, do they know anything about the hills between the Marquez Mountains and the forests of Trollheim?
They used to be patrolled by the orcs to keep the trolls out of the mountains. But we believe the entire region there is overrun with trolls now. The troll population has increased tenfold in the last 2 years. And the trolls are building things.
That's certainly unusual for such dim-witted beasts.
The trolls of Trollheim were not dim-witted.
Do they know what they're building?
So they're smarter than the average troll.
They're smarter than most humans.
Most. Not all.
They said most.
Anyway, I'm not a human. I'm a gnome.
Well, Dimitri's privately thinking, yeah, but when they think of humans, they're thinking Effigar, so yeah, again, that's not saying much.
Well, they do say that the trolls of Trollheim were considered the inventors of magic items. The first magical items are said to have originated with them.
Oh, well. Possibly sounds like someone worth talking to.
And it's also supposed to be the first words were written by those trolls too.
And does this fit with like Dimitri's understanding of history at all?
Not really, because giants and the history of giants isn't well known by people who don't interact with them regularly. Even the dwarves don't have a great knowledge of the history of giants, considering they believe giants were already in the world when they woke up.
Yep.
So their history only goes back as far as we awoke.
Well,
Had a massive hangover.
That too.
Right, so in each case then, from the Land of Blossoms, Dimitri would be keen to continue along the river, probably on the southern side of the river, and with the intent that we might aim to probably not necessarily go through directly the forest in Trollheim, although actually no, that probably, it'd maybe better to do that because we've still got the river to work with then, haven't we?
The river will lead you, but there's also a good chance you'll get lost. You do think above the river, above the forest, is probably the safest point. There's a place called Red Larch is supposed to be in that region.
Yeah, okay, so I was about to say, like, yeah, like, he was tempted to go through the hills, but they're probably fairly trackless, so it seems like the river might be the way to go, even though it increases the chances of finding trolls. Apparently that was going to happen anyway, and on account of Dimitri's somewhat intrigued at actually talking to these intelligent trolls. So in which case then, yep, Dimitri's keen to just keep heading up the river till we...
They do say they find humans to be contemptible and beneath them, having stolen much of their knowledge over the years.
Well, hey, Dimitri can quite happily agree with that statement too. He finds humans contemptible under most circumstances. Especially those Thyatans that go about stealing everything they come across.
Do I know how they feel about gnomes?
The trolls
Hors
help
d'oeuvres.
destroy the Gnome city in the region. They basically provided the technology allowing everyone else to wipe out the city.
Well, bastards.
And for a long-lived race, because they continually regenerate. No one knows how old those trolls are. They could be the oldest living creatures on the planet right now.
Yeah, we'll just make it even more intriguing for Dimitri to talk to.
If they'll talk to you.
I didn't say it was a likely option for him, but I say he was certainly he's getting more intrigued on the idea of, oh, hang on, we're not just dealing with mindless beasts that might just have some sort of resistance to fire.
Okay,
he's getting more and more keen to actually meet these educated and things. Of course, his interpretation is still blurred by the fact that all these stories are coming from simple Ethagarians.
Someone's about to get a hack.
Is that with the swing of the axe, and you just wanted to aim a little bit lower, but just couldn't make yourself? Okay, so 2 days later you find yourself on the edges of the forest of Trollheim. You can tell it's a forest for a giantish race because the trees here really are bigger than anywhere you've seen except Alfheim. Except these look like that they belong here, whereas the elven trees, were maintained by the elves.
Yeah. And I'm guessing we've also seen evidence of burnt grasslands in the lead up to it from the Ethagarian attempts to kick them out.
So about a mile from the forest is just ash.
Okay. So, do we see any evidence of habitation of the big trees and the river? Do we have a welcoming party or anything like that as we start to approach?
You do see that as you get closer, the wall of trees actually has boulders between all the trees. You'd actually have to go on foot and clamber over all the rocks to get in along that entire length. And even the river is a waterfall coming from the troll side. They seem to have fortified this side of it, and by the looks of things, there have been battles here, just that there's no bodies.
So, but there's apparently no one occupying these fortifications or the wall?
None that you can see.
Watching it? What was that, Karen?
None that you can see.
Okay, yep. Certainly going to have a good look. And,
give me a investigation roll. As you're making a determined look, probably roll a 1.
No, natural 20 to start the night. That's the first time off. So 26 upgraded. No, that's Pathfinder, isn't it?
Well, it's critical success.
Yeah.
In this case, so as you're looking, you swear you see the trees turn to look at you. And counting amongst them, you can count at least 10 treants along the edge of the forest here. And what appears to be a troll face that is probably on the gargantuan size.
Something I also thought of as well in the travelling type stuff. Just checking, has Drazzle been through this area at all?
Drazzle not want to talk about area.
No, I wasn't actually asking whether you want to talk about it. Okay, have you been through the area? I'm wondering whether or not your presence is going to specifically influence actions either way.
Drazzle not currently there. Drazzle good.
Is his cart there? Otherwise, why would
Well,
agree?
I'm assuming he means he's not there because he's wearing a big dark cloak and hunting over, but I'll never know it's him.
Well, his disguises worked before for it.
So this is another place where your presence will not necessarily be entirely welcome. Is that what you're saying?
Drazzle rarely welcomed.
Oh, welcome, Drazzle. Always welcome you.
Well, we will aim to walk up. Okay. We'll pause 100, 150 feet away or something type stuff if they haven't directly acted towards us. So we're a party of how many people have we go in?
Party of about 5, I think.
Yep, okay.
Plus, Karen.
That is counting him.
Yeah. But like, and I'm assuming potentially there might be some struggle hanging on that might come out of the back of Drazzle's cart or something at various points, but yeah, around that 5 figure is what I had in my head, so that's cool. And yeah, so we'll aim to, if there's no response as we approach up the side of the river, we'll stop and call out and
Come in peace.
greetings.
Oh, you'll leave in pieces, though.
Greetings. We are looking for passage through these lands and potentially some convivial conversation.
You hear a deep rumbly voice sounding like the ground shaking beneath you call out, what does the inferior one from Traldara offer?
Knowledge and understanding.
And wine. Got some good wine.
So you want to steal their knowledge, do you, Dimitri?
He's offering, the question was offer, and he's saying he's offering knowledge and understanding.
And wine.
And what does knowledge and understanding seek?
Well, as I say, in exchange for such knowledge and understanding, we are looking to traverse these forests heading towards the coast.
There's a bit of a pause, and a rock the size of a elephant comes tumbling through the air to land about 10 feet in front of you.
I've come to seek to understand these the little data so I can help my family and my people not do terrible things to you.
So give me an insight check for Dimitri.
Now we're the one. Not quite. Where are we? 9, insight 15.
15. You can see that there are quite a few runes engraved on the rock they threw.
Okay. I will.
Do we know the language? Or do we recognise anything with the runes?
It is written in runic form of Jotun. The giant tongue.
Yep. So, which Dimitri understands. And.
But it doesn't say anything.
So, do I recognise what some of the runes are referring to?
You do not. You have not actually seen those runes before. And what was your insight total again?
For Dimitri was 15.
Okay, they seem to be in the shape of a portal. I believe they are testing your knowledge.
So,
The giants created the first portals.
Sorry, Martin, what was that?
The giants created the first portals.
Oh, okay. So,
The fact they can throw the portals does help them.
okay, so let's get a look at it. So, you do not wish us to travel through the land. This is a portal to go straight to the other side. We can get straight in towards the coast.
You hear the deep voice say again, thank you. Prove your knowledge.
Thank you. I missed that one.
It said prove your knowledge. Or face a less arduous task.
Okay.
So, I'm
Well,
pretty intelligent.
Dimitri
too.
will
I
take some effort
understand
to examine the
significance of them.
runes and examine the portal passing behind it. So,
They have been.
Ryman gestures to the boulder and says, "Come on, smart man, let's go. Show what you do."
So,
Dimitri's examining closely at this stage.
I think it's a teleportation room myself.
That's what we already said.
Yeah, but where's it going to take us? I'm stepping through.
Just wait. It's not active right now.
If I touch it, what happens?
It feels like a rock. Not a bird of unusual size, but a rock. And you do believe that they have challenged Dimitri to a battle of wits. Can he activate a portal?
So, I'm examining it first, see what I can find out about it. So and then while I look into it, I'll also look at then, okay, what other aspects or bits and pieces I've got that would be particularly relevant.
As it has 5 runes on it, you believe it's most likely. Well, let me give you another insight roll to see if you can figure out what that signifies.
It seems like this may take some time. When Blanca gets up for him and starts grooming for Shem.
Okay. Insight, okay, while he's having a close look at it, okay, he's obviously picking up some of the bits and pieces. He's got 24 total for insight this time.
Can I take your plastic to put my tea bag in?
You can use that, yeah. So on a 25, you think 24. You do think that you can use the elements to activate the runes themselves. Though you will be most likely having to use magic elements, not just mundane elements.
Yep. And 27 on Arcana. Can I determine exactly which runes relate to which elements?
Yes, that is fairly easy to tell because they each have. Well, they don't exactly say fire, earth, air, water, and darkness. They do basically give you that representation.
The runes for each one, yeah.
When you determine one or two of them, the others are a lot easier to figure out.
That's right. The process elimination for the ones that are less obvious. So,
They also know order is important
yeah,
because the order you activate it in can determine where you go to.
indeed.
All portals have their quirks, and the giant portals have the most quirks. Humans did refine their technology after all.
Mm-hmm. And this way of thinking, damn it, I shouldn't have given Kelly back his staff. Since that has some of the aspects for some of the earth type spells that would be useful too.
After he finishes grooming regime, Lyman starts throwing pebbles at Dimitri's head.
As soon as the first couple go in the direction, Dimitri will turn around and say, would you like them to throw more pebbles? Or do you want to let me think?
Sorry. Yes, but Dimitri, you're so great and knowledgeable and wise.
And so let me think. Just be quiet and let me think.
Oh, you never tell me to be quiet when I'm killing things. Or I never tell you to be quiet when I'm killing things.
Exactly. So go off and kill something. I wouldn't recommend the people on the other side of that barrier.
How about you?
Well, then you're going to be stuck here and they might start throwing pebbles.
That's fine.
Pointing at the rock.
I can dodge something like that, can you?
Sorry?
I can dodge something like that, can you?
Did you know how big the rock was?
That's unreal.
You said it was the size of an
I thought
elephant.
you didn't want to be... I said you didn't want to be distracted. And yes, it's
Yes.
only little.
So just go away.
Oh, poor Dimitri can't figure out the puzzle. I will not go away. I must watch this.
So Dimitri will turn his back to him and look back at the puzzle again and be looking at noting that the order of the rooms is likely to be, the activation will likely change the location to go to, but he hasn't got any indication as to what locations might be available, does he?
He does not.
So that, in that sense, the order does not matter to him.
Except you know from experience that activating fire then water, or earth then air, or vice versa for either, will most likely have a undesired result.
Oh, no, that's right. So the fact that obviously there's going to be a logical pattern to activate the elements, but because he's not going to be trying to do it to a specific location, he'll just go with the one that is not illogical, i.e. fire, water, air, earth, or something. So his intent would be aiming probably, I think now in my head, yeah, he'd probably go for fire, air, water, earth, darkness.
Does he have the spells to do so?
Mainly because he hasn't got anything for darkness type stuff, and I'm just going to work out whether what spells he has got that he could do it with. And part of that reason for starting with fire is that's what he's most convenient with, so the process in that sort of sense. Does he feel? I'm just going to double check the.
You do know that the fire can be activated by radiant or fire.
Yeah.
Earth can be activated by acid or poison. Air can be activated by lightning or thunder. Water can be activated by cold or force. And entropy can and darkness can be activated by psychic or necromantic energy.
Just does he feel that? I'm trying to find this. The simple aspects of prestidigitation might allow any of the factors, or they have to be spells specifically focused on those elements.
Prestidigitation doesn't actually create elements. It can manipulate elements, but it can't create them.
I've more wondered about the idea is,
If they could, you could light a torch for fire, you could pour acid for earth. But you do believe that is designed as a magical puzzle.
Yeah, that's good. I was just trying to work out in the sense that, like, air, yes, he has got lightning bolt that he could try and play with. He doesn't use lightning bolt, so he's got lightning bolt. But it was more the idea of whether or not a puff of air from a prestidigitation would count as air. So, but I'm guessing not.
You don't think so? Does our fearless gnome have any?
Have the ability to do radiant damage if I attack a creature with Rheddrian smite. That's about it.
Okay, yeah. Because you're a paladin, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most of my stuff isn't sort of attack magic, really. It's brave. Let's not.
However,
Sort of
healing is actually necromancy.
Healing is.
As far as I'm aware, healing is a necromancy spell.
Yes, it is a necromancy spell, but it needs to be necrotic effect.
Yeah, right.
This is the exact opposite.
So unless you can cast it in reverse.
So
I was going
radiant
to
is
say, you
really
don't have the
all I
harm
can
spell,
help.
do you?
What was that, David?
Sorry?
What were you saying? Don't have the what spell?
I was saying, unless you have the harm spell.
Oh, harm, right, sorry, yes.
Mostly harmless.
Or, just like most of the party in Star Wars, mostly harmless.
Okay, so, just trying to remember again now in my head. So we've got, fire is easy. We've got firebolts. Radiant, but we don't need radiant. Air is lightning
Or thunder.
or thunder. We can do that. Got thunder wave. Make it focusing on the specific rune might be more challenging, but I'm assuming we can actually just effectively go at the rock.
Giants aren't known for their precision.
Exactly.
So you said that he didn't think that just producing some poison and tipping it on would be any. Someone alchemical jug isn't going to help us.
Not at this stage.
Earth is acid and poison, which you can do with acid arrow. Acid.
My helm of brilliance, is that fully
It
gemmed?
is. It is fully gemmed.
So
Fire, air, earth, water is cold or ice, or presumably water. Are we actually have to cause damage?
You think it has to be of the has to hit the rock with that element type.
Okay, so water should be quite acceptable amongst those
You'd
things.
expect it to be cold. It has to do cold or force to actually be considered of the type water.
Okay, I thought force. What was darkness again then?
Was psychic or
Necromantic.
necrotic. Yes, psychic or necrotic. Each takes two types.
So what are you lacking at the moment?
Okay, so he can cover fire easily enough. Lightning or thunder he can do for air. Earth he's got acid for acid splash, acid, Melts acid O. Water we can do magic missile. And necrotic / psychic might be the challenge.
There is a very simple low-level spell that does that if you've got it.
So I'm not thinking he's got much in the way of necrotic, so I'm actually somewhat surprised he's got some of these others that were there. So, when I was looking at the list.
Do you have chill touch?
That's a cantrip, isn't it?
Yep.
No, because cantrips are unfortunately very limited. So necrotic or psychic? That psychic? Certainly he's going to have to take some time to sit down and memorise spells for the day again, like change his spell card for the day, because he certainly doesn't keep all these at all times.
Every single one of my other characters can help right now.
So has he got something for radiant?
He does. He just needed fire.
Well, yeah, fire and radiant he certainly does, because he's a fire-based mage.
He has far more than that than he actually needs.
And that's why I was a bit surprised actually that he had most of it covered, because I was thinking, hang on.
See, we will now watch Dimitri cast more spells in a day than I think I've ever seen him do.
This will be his biggest spell casting event in the entire campaign, and he's been in there for nearly every session. 83 sessions.
Unfortunately, I can't help him with necrotic. There's nothing I can do with that.
None of my weapons
Hang on.
doesn't. Oh god damn it!
I just remembered one that he's got that he actually can cast lots of times as part of being a arcane trickster.
Yep.
So I'll just double check. How many variations of chromatic orb are there?
I believe there are 8. Or 10. I think it covers every energy type.
That's what I was saying. You can cast it in multiple different ways. So, and that's what he does actually have all the time. Because one of these, it's his spontaneous spell casting as a arcane trickster.
And you choose it as you cast it.
I'm pretty certain you do. I'm just trying to find the spell again.
Page 221 of the player's handbook.
221?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yes.
I'm going to be so angry if he can pull this off on his own.
Sphere of 4-inch diameter sphere of energy. The creature you can see within range. You choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder for the type of orb you create.
See, I think I did do a upgrade to that as well, so I'm just going to look it up for you. Actually, I didn't. Oh no, actually I did. So you can do it as acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder.
And even better than it's actually spontaneous spell. So it doesn't even take him much time to actually go through. The time is deciding what order to do him in.
So technically that's 5 rounds. He doesn't have to rest. So I've never used this spell before. Zap, 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 zap. Done.
Well, okay. He will change it up a little bit. He'll throw in the firebolt and the magic missile.
Well, the firebolt at least because, hey, it's a cantrip and that saves one of his first level spell slots that he rarely uses.
So, yes.
Do you have a diamond on you?
How many do you want?
You only need one because it doesn't use it up.
Dimitri has many diamonds, gems, sapphires, of all sorts of different types.
So basically, most material components, you pretty much do the equivalent of put them in some sort of reserve, so you can just hold up the vial for this spell, then hold up the vial for that spell. Because very few of the spells actually consume the components.
Yeah, unless it actually specifies that the component is consumed. So.
One of the mistakes a lot of people make online with this game is it used to be material components were consumed. Now material components are focuses. So you can reuse the same one over and over again unless it says consumes it while casting.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that if push came to shove, Yem's diamond probably worth at least 50 GP.
Yep. Would you like to use that as a focus?
He's tempted to bring it out, but
it's the equivalent of saying I need this rocket launcher to move this anthill aside.
Well, no, the idea being that it's I can use this rocket launcher, but I can still be precise with my effects. But it was more the idea of, yes, you might reel it out just to see if they recognise the actual item itself as to whether or not they might be interested in, oh, hang on, someone who's got contact with Yem might be worth actually talking to. But no, he's not going to pull it out for this simple test. And fire, water, that's no good. So, yeah, so he'll go in the order, I think I said before, like fire, earth, air, water, sorry, fire, air, water, earth, darkness, to close out the spell. Actually, no, let's start with darkness. We'll go with the first order. We'll go darkness, water, earth, air. I've got it written down wrong in my head. Because I wrote it down, I was thinking, oh yeah, because when we come to the order is going to be, yeah, darkness, earth, water, air, fire, to finish off, because fire is his favourite. So.
And the universe implodes on itself.
Okay, as you hit it with each of the elements, you see the rock grow about 10 feet in each direction.
Correct. And started the size of an elephant and ended up a lot bigger.
Yep. And when you hit it with the final one, it looks as if the inside of the rock is hollowed out to the other side.
And can we see through it?
You can see.
Can we see the treants and the boulder barrier and the giant gold head on the other side, or are we seeing through to something different?
You see through it, and it doesn't look the same as when you look around it. It does look like a forest, just not the same forest. It's not like the portals you're used to.
Mm-hmm. Is there any reaction from the giant's voice?
No reaction.
Can we hear anything coming through this portal?
Sound of wind rustling. You can
can I make survivor?
survivor roll.
Yeah.
Yes, you are not the weakest
Yep.
link.
Ah, well, I'm a survivor. I'm gonna get you something Destiny's Child. Yeah. Hang on.
What's your survivor roll?
Dice. Oh, I need to change these. Hang on. Stupid truck will try and input. That's a roll on a 10. There's my character sheet. Sparkle break. 13. A whopping 13. Does that look like somewhere near epic though?
It doesn't look like anything you've seen before.
Which, to be honest, we'd hope it wasn't. But,
Yeah.
What about
Okay,
the
so-
nature roll?
Demetra will turn around to the rest of the party and say, well,
So it's D20 plus my plus 3 for. Oh shit.
I suspect it's
rolling
likely
this
it
bloody
will take
dice.
us to the other side of the forest.
Can't read the number, or it's so small you don't want to read the number.
7.
Okay, so the trees don't look right.
I'm assuming it's not something that Demetra recognises the other side at all.
Give me a nature roll for Dimitri.
Total of 14.
No, he doesn't recognise what he's seeing on the other side that well either.
No, that's right. Okay, so he will turn around and suggest to the others that
Would that help?
I suspect it is likely to take us to the other side of the of Trollheim and may save us a lot of time and effort if we enter through here.
So you're saying you think we step in here and come out the other side? Is that right?
I think it likely.
What do you think, Lam and Nella?
Well, look, Dimitri is asshole.
Corrine just grunts in agreement to someone, you're not sure who.
Dimitri is asshole, but he is usually right. I guess so.
Demetri will basically say, he said, oh, I suspect it'll go through, and you checked, and he said, yeah, I think it will, and said coming, and he went through.
Okay.
Do we see him through it in the?
Well, he just looks like he's riding through an archway. A long archway, because it's about probably about 40 feet long at this stage.
Okay, I'll follow him.
Wait. So he hasn't been eaten by a terrorist yet?
He has not been eaten by a terrorist yet.
Plumman says, wait, give it a moment. Rheddrians take a moment to assess their prey. He gives it maybe 2 minutes, and then walks through.
Okay, so as you arrive on the other side, I will give Dimitri an insight roll.
My 14. 20.
Looking around you, you realise you're probably quite a few hundred miles north of where you were.
So, which,
You don't recognise any of the landmarks near you.
well, I mean, that's understandable because it's not like I knew anything around this area anyway. So, but a few hundred miles north, but we're certainly in a forested type area.
You are in a forested type area.
So, and can I take an adjustment from the sun position as to whether or not we've gone east or west?
You don't think you've gone much east or west, but you know you've gone a lot north.
Okay.
Where we are.
Insight roll for you as you come through.
Oh, what's with this bloody rolling? 11.
It's a GM dice. It rolls poorly for players.
11.
Okay. You're not exactly sure where you are. You're a bit turned around. You know you're not where you were. Yep.
Before Barman steps through the portal, he turns around, looks to the surrounding creepy gets, and says, "If you have assisted me, I am greatly thankful. May the blessings of the Uyghur and Guardians be with you." And steps through.
Okay. As Plowman steps through, the portal shuts behind you.
Does Draggle get through?
He does. He didn't wait for Plowman.
Okay, happy with that. Does that mean Karim got through?
Yes.
So, because normally he's bit behind the Highland, so.
That'd be hilarious. My apprentice.
I'm sure he'll turn up eventually. In one piece or another. So yes, you find yourself in an unknown forest way to the north of where you were. It feels a lot colder.
Yep. Is there any larger trees and or mountains or high points that are nearby that would be worth climbing up to see how far we can see, if we can see ocean or anything like that on any side?
To the north of you, you see mountain ranges you've never seen before that are taller than anything you've witnessed before. You even think one of them looks like it's got a shape of a dragon's head on it.
Does that ring bells at all for any research or anything like that Dimitri's done? A dragon-headed mountain?
There is a region of mountains called the Worm's Teeth Mountains. It could be part of that mountain range.
And the Worm's Teeth Mountain is north of Effengard?
It is. It's also the home of all the dragons. The place that everyone else seems to be forbidden to go.
Well, yes. Dimitri will then make a proclamation, having confirmed that he obviously knows everything and will be confident in his knowledge, despite the fact that he's making most of it up as he goes along, about the idea of, okay, well, it would appear that Dark Lady is safe for us for the time being. We shall be investigating the Blackmoorian influences up in Norwell.
Drazzle taps Dimitri in the shoulder and points east.
And that's away from the Dragon Skull Mountain, wasn't it?
It is.
That was north of us, yeah. So, east would tend to be the way, okay, most appropriate, because then we can reach the shoreline and confirm exactly our present position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it won't take too long whatsoever. So that wouldn't be Drazzle saying that, because he really talks without saying things backwards. So you start, you mount up.
I'm confident it will not take as long as it took us to get along get across Effengard.
So 2 days later, you find yourself on the edge of a ocean that you don't recognize.
Just thinking, like by the time we're camping for the night, I just want to see if I can, if Dimitri has any spells or items or things like that might help to locate ourselves, or people with survival might be able to read the stars better when the night comes. I mean, part of the problem, of course, is that none of us have been this far north in any way, so...
Lucky for you, one of your guides has.
Well, yeah.
I'm just going to find the actual book I need. So yes, you do enjoy the look of a breathtaking ocean without Vikings on it.
Without Vikings?
Yes. It's not very often you find such a large ocean that doesn't have murderous Vikings waiting to sink you.
Are we far enough north that we've got icebergs floating in this island?
Not quite so far north as to get icebergs, but fairly close.
Yep.
You know, I always have these piles of stuff that that's behind me. So I have just about everything I need available, just finding the right one at the right time. So yes, amusingly, I seem to have misplaced the book I was looking for, which is always useful. It's never right where you need it. Always, at least where you expect it.
Well, to be fair, Martin, it's not like you can't claim that we went somewhere you weren't expecting. Because you could have picked us anywhere.
Oh yeah, I know I could have sent you anywhere. Except you did make a deal and they did keep up their end of the bargain.
Yes.
Man, those trolls are kind of cool.
But certainly Demetrius keen to get back there when he hasn't got
One of the ships.
less disreputable people around.
They burnt most of those down.
But no, absolutely, it's the sort of thing though that, yes. Considering what we did, we could have ended up anywhere, so it was a case of, oh, well, where does Martin want us to, which part of the campaign does Martin want us to do?
Well, I wanted you somewhere where you could do something useful.
Okay, because any of them would have been filling the bargain of get into the other side of the forest. Because hey, even if we had have ended up somewhere west of our original location, that still counts as the other side of the forest. It's just going the very long way round. So, Jeremy, not sure if you've seen that module before. Hang on. Don't think so. Can't quite. Adventures in Blackmore. Oh, okay, right.
Adventures in town.
Oh, goody. Well,
Yeah, so that's the goal.
Dimitri will have fun.
So that is a combustion engine. So, when I was saying there was Blackmore technology there, I wasn't kidding at the Blackmorean technology. So as you start heading in,
I'd be concerned that there's a book that says Adventures in Blackmore, recognising it as a place. They're thinking, hang on. Possibly our portal did not go just north.
well, no, it did go north.
I'm sure it went north. I'm saying it didn't necessarily go just north.
From all lore and history you've heard, Blackmore was never to the north of where you are.
Okay.
So we went so far north, we went south.
Well, as I say, we could have been the other side of the forest and ended up west of where we started.
So we teleported so far north, we actually scrolled off the top of the map and re-emerged at the bottom. Is that it?
Yes, it has that world wrap thing.
But I'm also like my thought is also the fact that hang on, if we're in Blackmore, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Though you could be in Hollow World Blackmore.
Ah! You know, from Dimitri's perspective, that would probably still be better than being in Blackmore, because that would be, at least in the Hollow World, we're probably still in something around 1009. But possibly if we're in Blackmore, we might be in the year 7.
Oh no, Blackmore was wiped out over 3,000 years. Sorry, at your stage, over 4,000 years ago.
Okay, I couldn't remember what the night time was, but I knew that it was quite some time ago.
So, from your perspective, you'd be the year minus 3,000.
Yeah.
I'm sure that doesn't mess with you.
Plenty of time to finish all the tasks that we wanted to.
It does.
And
Okay.
hey, the trolls might be more receptive right now.
Hey, assholes, you sent us back in time. Really?
We'll have to remember to do that.
I didn't know we could do that.
Okay, as you're heading along, you see what appears to be a single thin stream of smoke rising in the distance, like from a fire.
This is on the second day when we've been approaching the coastline you're in?
Yep.
Because certainly, if Dimitri can get anything out of Drazzle while we stop when we camp for the night type stuff, to talk about where or when we might be, he'd be interested. But I'm also quite happy with the fact that Drazzle probably won't tell him anything off the top of the head anyway. So.
Oh no, Drazzle's most thing you're saying, when are we? Drazzle would normally say now.
Yes.
But when are we now? Then.
Yes. How does now compare to where we were yesterday?
Just imagine watching Spaceballs again and having the conversation about time.
Yes. Certainly, it's not like Dimitri hasn't been working with discussing time with Drazzle for the last 3 or 4 years our time. After flipping back 6 months every so often.
Yeah, you're asking a monosyllabic being to explain time travel.
That's why I said I quite happily accept that yes, there's not much useful information to get out of him in a single night conversation. So.
But you do feel that he thinks of where you're going as home.
Jesus! That's not good.
Okay, well, so are we actually walking along the coastline at this stage, like along a beach or something, or?
You are going along a pristine beach with sun shining, birds chirping, light breeze, giving you that just on the front cover of a romance novel look.
Mm-hmm. And the beach was running effectively north-south, like
it is running effectively north-south at this stage.
Yeah.
And as you get to about midday, you see what appears to be a solitary inn sitting on a hill with a pier going out into the water.
Oh, okay, so the smokestack we saw would actually come from a chimney, not just a campfire.
From a chimney, yes. But so far away that it
was a small fire that we could see, yeah. That makes sense. Or small fire smokestack we could see, that makes sense. In which case then, we go on the forward and aim to get a better look at this inn, or this building, to get an idea of the architecture and therefore get a better understanding exactly where we might be. And
okay.
Where we might be.
Give me an investigation roll as you look at it.
10 total.
10 total.
It's got 4 walls and a roof.
Pretty much, as far as you can tell, you're not even sure what it's made of.
Okay.
It's made of cells.
Is there anyone?
looking at
Have we seen any evidence of anybody else so far in their travels?
The gnome shares your opinion of the building.
It's all right, Dimitri doesn't offer that as opinion because that was something that he didn't necessarily know. So
not only could I not see anything, but in craning my neck forward to see what it was, I face planted in the sand.
Drago picks you up, shakes you off, and puts you back on the cart.
Martin,
Yep.
16 on an investigate.
Looking at it, the building does not look right. It has angles that shouldn't stand up.
Well, I think I know why the gnome fell over. There is something very, very intrinsically wrong with this building. It's making me use words like intrinsically.
Didn't think you
So we're not talking when you're saying the angles of the walls don't seem to hold it up. We're not talking dilapidated.
No, though there are some fractal elements to the walls as well.
But just confirming also, Martin, that so effectively we've travelled eastward for a day and a half or so, like overnight.
Yep.
And then we've travelled for effectively half a day following this beach line. And so far we haven't seen any evidence of any other habitation or people or anything like that. It's the first thing we've seen of any evidence of people.
This is the first evidence you've had of civilization.
Okay. And is there anyone outside the building?
There is not. Though you still scratch your head looking at it, not really understanding what you're looking at.
Okay.
Well, again, and then looks back to the body. What you have to understand is that in this dimension, in this world, we have 3 dimensions, and it seems to be bursting into the 4th and or 5th dimension. It's creating angles that shouldn't actually. Whoa, this is not good.
And when you say that, Drazzle looks at it fondly and says, "Home."
Dimitri's going to be going up to it, and the first thing he's looking for to find out is if there's a stable or at least a horse hitching post or anything like that.
Well, as you walk up to it, you find yourself walking up to it about 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really quite figure out how you walked up to it 3 times because you don't remember stepping away from it. But you have memories of reaching it 3 times.
Okay, so I was about to say, so it's not like it's a case of it seems to take a lot longer to get to anything like that. It's just that the...
I know where we are. We're in the 60s.
And the stables seem to be just big enough to cater to all your horses. Even though you're sure there wasn't stables here a moment ago.
You know, I've had chaotic trips that the shamans run in the steppes. That sort of work just like this.
I'll get down from the cart. See if I
Dimitri will
Is there a door?
dump his horse in the stable
With a handle on your height.
go to the door.
Well, I'll walk towards the door. How many times do I walk towards the door?
Well, you're not quite sure, but you did manage to make it there. You seem to be still a little bit freaked out by something he doesn't seem right.
Ramen observes what happens when the others move to the door.
Apparently nothing, I'm guessing.
Well, they seem to be walking in a straight line, but not really going anywhere for a while.
Oh, I know what's happening. You're lagging. You need to reset your connection.
What a treadmill.
And yes, you have no problems taking your horse and putting it in a stable.
Yep, and okay, from Dimitri's perspective, yep, they call he just dumps the horse in the stable, grabs his the cattle bag on his shoulder tucked off, and he'll go into the building.
I'll give you a perception roll while you're doing that.
Bloody hell. Where are we? 4 on the dice, so that gives him...
Not much.
14.
Okay, even on the 14, you do notice there is the Dressel's cart just slides right into the wall to the point where the back gate looks like it's part of the wall now.
How does he get plus 10 on perception?
Because it's Dimitri and he's a dick.
Well, because remember, he's also a rogue.
And he has other things he's not so good at.
Yes. I have
Like
regular
spellcasting.
-1.
No counting.
Spellcasting. He doesn't do it very often. Okay, so yeah, you blink for a moment, seeing Drazzle's cart go towards the wall, and then it is the wall,
Hey,
and the gate looks like it's always been there.
Plum.
Okay, as long as it's not the gate I just came through to put the horse in the stable, I'm entirely unhappy with it.
Hey, Plum. Do you remember that bloke who just walked through the wall of the tent? That's a little bit like what just happened there.
It's not great. I don't really like this place, but it's Drazzle, so you know.
But like I say, if when Dimitri hears that, he'll like so Drazzle coming out and like heading towards the building from that location, or
No. He apparently the cart just walked itself into the wall.
and then became okay. Yep. Okay.
No horse at all or Drazzle touching it.
Yeah.
Which is the first time you've seen it move on its own.
Oh, okay. So, right. So he didn't put the cart in there. The cart went itself. Okay. In which case,
Were the
then,
wheels turning when it was moving?
No, the wheels were not turning.
but the main point, the only thing I was curious about was this: unless Drazzle's already gone into the building, in which case he'll go in anyway. Dimitri will aim to ask Drazzle, "Have you been here before?"
Home.
Having seen the reaction of the cart, and not having been part of the idea that Drazzle thought of it as home. So,
He says Drazzle home.
well, I'm glad we could come in. Perhaps you could introduce to your family.
Family not here at this time.
So this is where you live?
No, this is home.
Well, can we go into the door?
Drazzle
and
lived
make
many
conversation?
times.
Is that repeat?
Drazzle lived in many times. So,
So while this conversation is going on, I'm assuming we're still walking towards the door.
yep, and you find yourself in what appears to be a common room with a single table and enough chairs for each of you.
And you
And we've heard no other noises or people so far.
No other noises or people.
any booze?
Looking around for booze, there seems to be an entire wall full of booze.
Dimitri will be going to go, "Oh, I had thought that this was a tavern or wayside inn, but you mean this is your personal home?"
He says yes, and you're not sure if he says yes to the first one or the second one.
Having watched you guys phased into the building and observed the entire situation, Plumman dismounts from Regem, gives him his freedom, and tries to head inside.
You have no problem stepping inside because you don't even remember opening it and shutting the door, and you're in the common room.
And is Hakim with you?
Karim is with him. He grunts.
Yep.
More with annoyance than anything else. As you realise you did not open or shut a door, but you're in the common room.
I'll take one of the bottles of grog off the wall.
Yes.
I'll take a quick slug and see what I'm drinking.
Unusual.
You can see your time now.
It tastes like it's been sitting on a shelf for like hundreds of years.
Vintage.
Looking at the label, the drink hasn't been made yet.
It's been here for hundreds of years, but it's not been made yet.
Maybe it gets worse as the time gets closer to when it's made, and then it begins to get better again.
Yeah.
It's covered in dust though.
I'm with you, Plum. I don't like this place.
I never said I don't like it, it's just suspicious.
Dimitri's looking around and seeing if there's any books or notes or anything like that, or other decorations in the room.
There is.
Not being particularly interested in grog.
Sitting on above the bar is the name, the Comeback Inn.
Okay, so it does have a bar, implying that it is actually a tavern and a hostelry. Did we? Yeah, let's go. I know Comeback Inn was on the timeline, like the clue hint type stuff for what rumours and bits and pieces. Did we actually have Comeback Inn on what we were told, or is it?
It was, yes.
It was, okay.
Very much like Druzzle going backwards.
Yes.
Clark is going to do his best to sit in the corner and fall into a minor trance just to keep an eye on everything that's going on around him and to watch. Try and observe as much as possible.
Okay, so give me a investigate roll for Plum.
Sure. 9.
You got a 9? Yes, you're observing everything.
Yes.
Okay.
You're a guarantee you will not miss a single. What was that?
No. Nothing will go over his head.
So-
We actually got too quick.
Is there like a bar or anything?
As you look, there's a bar there. There wasn't one a moment ago, but there's a bar there now.
Oh,
Every time you seem to think of something, there's stuff there.
So,
and a bar.
what language? What language is the Comeback Inn written in?
It's written in.
Every language.
It is actually. There are signs in every language around you.
Okay, I think that we all call it in native tongue, but there are multiple signs in multiple languages.
Yep.
There is every sign in every language.
Though one of them in Draconic also has the words "the in between the worlds."
Oh my god!
Right.
Wait, well, you did want to know why Druzzle called it home.
But at least it's not the hollow one. Hopefully.
As your perception of time seemed to have also stopped because you know that while you're here, you're not in the flow of time. With that jump in insight for Dimitri, and he's messing with time in the past and the future.
Mm-hmm.
He's done both already.
Multiple times.
So this feels like when you stepped out out of the time stream previously.
Yep.
Mother.
Yep.
Carmen takes an axe and takes a throwing axe and throws it at Dimitri's leg.
Okay. As you throw the axe, as soon as your hand lets go of it, it just stops.
And hangs in the air, or
Just sitting there in the air.
So I'll turn this
He
on.
attempts to retrieve it.
You have no problems picking it up.
So I'll tip the bottle upside down and see what happens.
You basically see nothing fall out.
I was going to say, are you trying to tip it into a glass, or?
But I can see the grog inside the bottle when I grab down and have a look.
Yep. But when you put it to your mouth, you can drink it.
You only have to drink from the bottle, can't put it into a glass.
There are no glasses. Glasses are a lie.
There is no spoon.
Is there any cake?
You see some cake, but no way to reach it. The cake is a lie.
Sorry, been nice.
So well, Dimitri, having seen the one at the signing Draconic, we'll read out the idea of the in-between worlds. And so Dimitri's again looking around for if there are any books or notes other signs on around the place.
Okay, you see...
Okay, if this is Dimitri's home, hey, maybe he's kept some of his volumes here.
You do see what appears to be an empty bookshelf. Seems to have space for 5 books.
But none of them yet, huh?
Each book seems to be the size of the book Dressel's been writing in.
Yeah. Dimitri will go over and investigate the apparently empty bookcase or bookshelf, and so it's sort of like we're talking a shelf that has like a couple bookends but nothing between. Is that what we're looking at?
That's what you're looking at.
Okay. Dimitri will actually effectively test and feel between the bookends, but by basically taking the action of pulling a book off the shelf as if it was there.
Okay, you mind pulling a book off the shelf and then mime opening it, and unfortunately you still don't learn anything. But you feel good about doing so because Dressel wanders over and watches you doing it, scratching his head.
Well, no, he doesn't mind opening a book. It's a case of him basically doing the search of the bookcase by pretending a book might be there initially. When it doesn't work, his hand will go down through and probably touch the shelf. So
look on the bright side, Dimitri. If the adventure in life doesn't work out for you, you can always get a job as a mime, eh?
Dreadful. Why keep an empty shelf?
Shelf for book. He takes his book out and puts it on the shelf. As he puts the book on the shelf, you see 4 others appear. He takes the book off the shelf, the other 4 disappear.
It's going to say yes. Well, Dimitri will aim to grab one, but obviously slightly too slow after the demonstration.
God, I truly wish I was playing a smarter character right now.
What was that? Put it on, pull it off. Put it on, pull it off.
So can I wander over to the door and pull it open and look outside?
Okay, as you pull the door open and look outside, you find yourself standing outside for everyone else. And your horses.
Everyone else is outside as well.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's right. Because you stepping out and then going back in, that was the second of the 3 times you went up there.
Right.
So yeah, Dimitri likes to go, well, hang on, if this is the in-between worlds, where's the innkeeper?
He points at himself. He keeps in.
Wyman gestures to Drazzle.
And I'm guessing you don't expect many visitors then, since you're not normally here to collect them, to receive them?
Dressel here when needed.
So
Drazzle always on time.
So you're needed now, Drazzle? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, in the
He was here when people needed to get in.
That's right. He had customers at the inn, and so therefore he's here. The fact that he came with the customers to get to the inn is purely coincidental.
Right.
This place exists outside of time, which means Russell is always here and never here. Or at least always here.
Always here when needed.
Schrodinger's Drazzle.
So always here.
He's also one of 5.
5 Drazzles.
At least.
So the 5 books.
Yeah, some of the Drazzles are different too.
And depending on how old he is, the more cantankerous he gets.
If this is the comeback in, I'm assuming that in our conversations with Rheddrians, Drazzle's never actually been present amongst those conversations.
Oh, he has. He just never volunteers information.
Okay. So in that case, let's go. Well, you did not make any comment when the rumour of the comeback in was being discussed with Rheddrian.
Drazzle gave Rheddrian rumour.
Are there multiple entrances to this location?
He looks around. Currently, you're standing in a field. You're not exactly sure where, because it's not where you entered the inn. And he says, "Can't see entrance."
So we can't see the
Can we
beach
see the inn?
You cannot see the inn at all. You can't even see the coast.
So we've gone in from one place, come out in another.
Without actually moving that we're aware of. So, is Drazzle's cart there?
Drazzle's cart is not there.
And what about our horses?
Your horses are there. His horse is there, but his cart is not.
So the obvious question is, how am I going to get around?
Drazzle says, "We went backwards."
Actually, through the door of your cart.
Cart stayed behind.
Yes, it normally does when something goes back, gets sent backwards.
Building sent backwards.
How long backwards did we go?
He sticks his hands out about yay long.
Thank you for being experts.
That's right, yeah. We're now at now. We went back to now.
It was then, now it's now.
So when is then?
Soon.
Not yet. So you passed on the rumours to Rheddrian about Blackboard technology at the comeback in?
He thinks for a moment and says, "Yes, Drazzle did."
And we are now at a time where the Blackboard technology is present.
Drazzle believes so.
But that would imply that if we have to go back to get to the Blackboard, then why were there rumours of Blackboard at the time we were?
Drazzle planned ahead. And behind.
So you're saying that you didn't actually, that there wasn't actually necessarily Blackboard technology, it was just a story to pique Rheddrian's interest.
Incorrect.
You were wrong.
You had allowed some technology from Blackboard to go into what was then.
Then, home is Blackmore technology.
So, did you control us to take us back to now, or was it home that sent us back?
Was gnome, not home.
The gnome sent us back.
Yes.
By leaving.
So,
Drazzle not ready.
Dimitri looks back.
What went anyway?
Look over quickly and.
Who's still got the grog and is just taking a pull on it and got her back turned.
One throws a pebble at the back of your head. You brought this here? All right, throwing it doesn't work.
What happens when it
The stone goes flying. You actually bounce it off the armor of the gnome. Ka-ting.
That's weird. Hey! Oh! Did you bring us here? What is he saying?
Why are you asking me? He's your mate.
When have you bought it? Quickly?
Quigner.
What?
Hey, you talking to me or chewing a brick? Because either way you're going to lose your teeth.
As you look up into the sky, you notice there are 2 moons. You've only ever seen one.
Okay, but
Moons.
history? Do we know if and when 2 moons ever existed?
From your scientific knowledge, you have discovered that there is a hidden moon where the cats come from.
Cats, like.
The humanoid cats.
A true origin of the meow virus.
And their moon is shrouded, so it can't be seen.
Is there was there any knowledge or history type stuff that indicated when the moon became shrouded?
There is no.
When it wasn't shrouded.
There's no history stating it was ever visible. But then again, not much survived the destruction of Blackwell.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So I guess is there, does Dimitri have knowledge and understanding of exactly how Blackwell was destroyed?
It apparently blew a hole through the center of the planet.
Okay, so it didn't get a moon dropped on it.
Could have. But
Was it a very sized hole?
Dimitri does know that the second moon still exists in his time. It's just hidden from view.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the idea of, hey, maybe there were 3 moons, and 2 of them were visible until one got used to destroy Blackmore.
So going back to the conversation, Barnum says back to you, my teeth? You couldn't even reach my teeth. Now all I know is that you show up out of nowhere, all of a sudden you're a member of the party, I've never heard of you before, I don't think anyone else has, and now you bring us to a place in between time.
What?
To be fair, Plumman, Rheddrian assigned him to us.
No one asked you.
And you have Drazzle poke you on the shoulder and go, her.
Not like Dimitri pays that much attention.
Look,
What?
you.
Right, yeah.
He took us through the rock. Right. Hey, calm down. He took us through the rock. We come to an inn, we go in, I go out. How come it's all my fault?
Because Drazzle says it's your fault.
Drazzle says a lot of stuff and none of it makes any sense.
It doesn't really
All I know is I've known Drazzle longer than I've known you.
Well, yeah, get a room.
Yes, but Drazzle doesn't fly and fight and drink with my son, so I like him better.
I didn't even know you had a son.
Yeah, Kegner's actually spent more time with Playman's son than Playman has.
That's true.
Dimitri will ask Drazzle then the idea of so we've gone back, but are we still in the same place? The ocean's gone, but his house always in the same place? Home, I should say. Home always in the same place?
Home is where it's needed, he says. Doesn't appear to be needed here.
It'd be handy right now.
Handy, yes, but not needed. He scratches his head a little bit, looking around, trying to figure out where home is.
So what he's saying is that home's always been there when it's needed, and It's not here now, therefore I don't need it. I guess.
Yes, that is the translation of that from his perspective.
Yeah, that gesture. So,
He does say Dressel not being this far back.
so it might be back before home?
Yeah, right.
If before home, problem. Home not come before home.
So
Usually.
what you're saying is that there's this super powerful time traveling wibbly wobbly tiny wimey guy who has gone further than he's ever gone before.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
This is obviously going to end well.
just to make matters worse, unfortunately his TARDIS did not come with him.
Yeah. Simon looks back to the gnome. So, Red, why are we here? How did you get us here?
I just walked out to see what would happen.
Apparently something happened.
Yep.
So what happened?
We went back.
No.
Apparently,
No.
Apparently, I'm guessing.
You're right, Dimitri, shut up!
I'm guessing what he did was he went out, but he went out through the door of the cart, not through the door we came in.
Hey, Dimitri, I'm going to tell you this just once. I'm going to ask you a question. Has it ever occurred to you that when somebody asks somebody else a question, they don't want your answer?
No, because obviously they want the right answer.
Shut up! I'm asking you is the thing.
If they ask a question, presumably they want accuracy.
How does
So what did you
the
see when you went out?
grog taste?
The grog tastes the same. But as you're drinking, you start to see a bright light up overhead.
Over, as in the sky?
Yeah.
Is the dust still on the bottom?
It's probably duskier.
What do I think the light is? Do I have any clue? Is it dark or daylight?
It is getting on dusk.
Right.
Give me a... I will make it a intelligence roll. I'll give you proficiency in it. So intelligence plus proficiency. As is a sciencey sort of thing.
It's 4 intelligence. 7.
A 7? Not a 1? You didn't roll a 1?
No,
A
rolled
2.
a 3.
It's almost like Jeremy going, "Hey, rolled a 2."
Well, that should give you at least 11 then.
Intelligence.
You had your efficiency bonuses plus 4.
My intelligence is 16. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, 3, 4. Yeah. No, intelligence is 16. That's plus 3. And I get
So 10 total. You rolled a 3, didn't it?
You did roll a 3, yes. So looking up, you just see this bright light starting to get brighter above you. Dimitri and Plowman start noticing the bright light above them as well.
Mm-hmm. And does Dimitri recognise or understand what it is?
I will give Dimitri an intelligence check. He doesn't get to add his proficiency to this one.
18, 24.
24. Looking up, it appears to be what could be a meteorite coming into the, breaking the surface of the atmosphere.
Well, hopefully it's just a meteor, not a meteorite.
Oh my god! What? So that's for that intelligence check that Simon decided to take. You got a 1.
You got a 1? The sky is falling.
Well, no, it's just homecoming.
And the closest drink and just spells it.
Okay, the rest of your bottle gets emptied.
Does it look like the meteorite is going to hit somewhere near us?
You're not quite sure, as more and more of the sky lights up as it keeps coming in and spreading.
Is it getting bigger or is it getting more of them?
Getting bigger.
You guys remember when that time that we triggered a cataclysm and for 15k.
And this is where, yes, he's never bothered buying about teleportation spells, because, hey.
He's never needed them.
Well, it's so pesky to try and deal with all your next items because they don't come with you.
Yeah. As you're watching, it gets bigger and bigger, and you see.
Dimitri's saying, it's probably worth starting to run, guys, as he's casting fly on himself to actually go faster.
As you see parts of it flying off in all different directions, and glowing red, and floating away.
So it is breaking up?
It is breaking up, and yep.
Wherever Drazzle goes, Plumman follows.
Drazzle just stares up and looks as if he's interested in it and starts drawing in his book.
Well, okay, like if it's breaking up, then it means that it's not really worth running because either we'll get hit or we won't. I'm assuming that you said we're in a pretty much an open field. It was open as far as we can see.
As far as you can see, yes. And then you see the meteorite seem to start changing course on its way down.
Away from us, towards us.
Seems to be leveling out.
So it's not Homecoming, it's Blackmore coming. Or rather, Blackmore wasn't the name of the ship, was it?
Blackmore was not the name of the ship.
Did Rheddrian did actually explain the story to Dimitri? No, hang on. No, it was actually Pedadir that was the one that spent all the time in Heritage
company of Bennett
the shield from the castle where we found Rheddrian.
As you watch, as this meteorite seems to level itself out, the flames die down on it, and you see a silvery cylindrical-like object fly into the mountains nearby.
Best we have a look at that.
That's the way we want to go.
And as it hits the mountain, a piece of its broken off bits lands nearby, and you see written on the side of it, USS Beagle.
Beagle, that's the one, yes.
And then you find yourself sitting back at the come back in.
Plumman takes literally whatever is in his hand and throws it at the gnome.
Okay, it goes from the moment you let your fingers stop, and it just stops. There's this bottle hanging in the air.
I hate this place.
I brought you back. What's the problem? There's no pleasing you, is there, you bloody Russian?
And you've now gotten to see one of the folk tales of the gnomes. They talked about how a ship fell and crashed probably 10 to 30,000 years in the past. That they've actually dated stuff from that their flying city is built from the engine of this starship that crashed on the planet.
Okay.
And the engine is over 30,000 years old.
Yeah. So, I'm also going to remember the because I know that Pedadir at the time got trapped in the shield to release Rheddrian when we first found it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Dimitri had what Dimitri's activities.
He's had some discussions with Rheddrian, but Rheddrian didn't actually go into full details, just saying that he'd come from another planet.
Yeah, correct. But did he actually name the ship that he came on?
No, because the group that was there at the time was very cagey about whether or not they would tell absolutely everyone else in the world about what he told them.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So he basically had to bite his tongue and say he'll say very little, but he may have told you more since then.
Yeah.
And basically, he is a descendant of the people who arrived.
Yeah. So
He saw his ancestors landing.
So you saw the technology that your culture
So the end result was Dimitri at least understand what he saw. The idea of the arrival of the beagle.
Yeah. And that actually predated life on the planet.
Yeah. Which is one of the funny things curious about the idea of, if he knew about the gnomes' stories, but I guess, yes, the gnomes did it by dating the equipment rather than actually being there at the time. So.
Yeah, they basically used carbon dating to find out how old their engine was.
Yep.
And they've run the test probably about 100 times because no one really believes it's that old. Each year they're trying to figure out if they've got the test wrong.
So between the two stories, my story that I know and what Dimitri knows, are we able to put together what we've just seen?
You do realise what you've just seen, which was probably the event that sparked life on the planet for most people.
So, when you were asking me where I took you, Barman, I took you to see the creation of everything. Everything, mate. Just, don't need to thank me. It's alright. You're alright, lad.
Complete nonsense. The world started when the great horse blessed us with life. And then, what happened was, the great horse took a massive shit, and in that shit came gnomes.
Well,
Armin, there's no need to display your ignorance. Everyone here knows.
Everyone here knows that you're an asshole to me. Also, it's a federal highway. Hi, guys.
Hi, as you drive past.
You almost in Canberra, mate.
No, I'm driving past the federal.
Oh, right.
I'm driving Sydney to Melbourne.
Yeah.
So yes, you have now seen the thing that had been described to some of you through various stories and lore and rumor. As you've been investigating Blackmore, there was always an underlying belief that Blackmore based their technology on something far older.
Yeah.
Did I remember to take my phone out so I can put a video on TikTok?
Unfortunately, you forgot. You were so open-mouthed at the whole thing going on. It's like
I wanted to put it on the TikToky.
Dimitri, you will go to Craig and say, why did Home bring us back now when we could have gone to investigate the ship?
Home came when it was needed.
Why was it needed to stop us finding out?
Why did you need Home? Because we certainly didn't. Not at that moment.
I didn't need Home. Home came when it was needed.
Is this because you were yelling and screaming like a baby about not knowing where you were, Plum, and then we got pulled back to here? Great.
Yeah, no, so Dimitri's asking Basil, who needed Home?
Drazel shrugs. Home comes when home is needed. Home never comes when called. Much harder to navigate than going backwards through door.
Yes. So, if we were to exit the door from Home, are we likely to exit at the time that we first arrived, or at the place that we first arrived, or at the time and place where Home you think we're needed?
Yes.
That's not the answer for that question.
Okay, that looks better.
Yourself a bloody scientist.
Dimitri had no problem with that answer. It was perfectly accurate and perfectly valid. So.
Because most likely all of them above are correct. It can probably be directed, it can probably be doing it based on its own whim, and it can probably be doing it based on need.
And as long as no one leaves home, we won't be expelled from home at this stage. If we take the opportunity to have a good night's rest after having some eventful last couple of days.
He looks at Dimitri and says, "No night."
That's fine.
Out of time.
But a rest may still be nice.
You may close eyes and wait, but time not pass.
And as such, Dimitri, our bodies do not change, our needs do not change. Do you feel hungry? Have you changed how hungry you feel in the time that we've been here? Have we even been here for time?
So what you're saying is that I've got all the time in the world to catch up on my study.
No. No time passes.
And also, Dimitri, the question is if nothing actually changes, do you actually absorb the information, or when we live here, will you live with nothing that you've learned?
Well, Dimitri is interested, first of all, to confirm whether or not he has access to the Bank of Holding at the present time.
He does not. As the bag of holding exists in time.
Yeah. Well, at least the contents thereof.
Okay, so I will call it for a night there because I have plans of what's going to happen for you next session as you stumble out of the inn or other people stumble in. Because
or none of the above, and we just end up not in the inn.
that is possible. And as the next session is on the 21st, I am happy to run on the 21st if people are happy to play.
I'll still be working, so yep.
I will likely be travelling to Melbourne around that time. So I really couldn't guarantee it.
That's okay. I thought I'd voice it now, so in case you could make it, you still have the option. And I was looking at doing Shadowrun instead of D&D on Friday because most of the D&D Friday players are unavailable.
Well, I can be available on Friday if there's going to be enough others to make it worthwhile, but
there'll be at least 3.
So, but I'm also, like I said, like if there's not enough interest for Shadowrun, then of course I can quite happily I can arrange other things like sleep. Nerd.
In that case,
no, David. That's not nerd. That's old.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll see you and David on Friday for Shadowrun then.
All good.
So where do we get to with the 21st?
Most likely going ahead.
Okay.
If it doesn't,
will
I'll
probably
contact
not be
everyone
there myself, but
Okay.
if I can make it, I'll be there. But yeah.
Well, I never know. He might be Skyping in from Melbourne.
Okay. Before you get me how things go, but because our travel plans are definitely up in the air, and the fact that Rowan's probably going to be getting down there potentially a week before then, so we'll see how we go. But
All good.
Anyway, thank you very much.
See you.
See you later.
See you, David. Drive safely.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.